Eric works for you. You guys have major disagreements. He was a Bernie guy. You obviously supported Trump. I'm sure he's been on these shows and talked about probably policies that you don't agree with and things like that. Yet you let this guy do whatever he wants. I think that's a great credit to you, but why do you do it? I mean, why do you let this guy run around and do whatever he wants to do, even when it's in conflict with what you believe? I don't think most people would do that.
Well, I'm interested in ideas always. And I think that I don't think all the ideas are just the conventional ideas. I think there are. I think we need to find new ideas, new ways of approaching the world, thinking about it, and Eric is certainly, an absolutely first-rate heterodox thinker, and I don't think, I think all of our politics are somewhat eclectic and somewhat complex, and Eric's more on the left, I'm more on the right, but we're both interested in ideas. We're interested in figuring out how to make sense of our world, and that unites us. And it's always surprising how that's a pretty unusual place to be there.
Yeah.
It's much of it's not about ideas. It's, as we said earlier, it's about power or fashion or something like that.
But most guys in your position wouldn't be allowing one of their top people to be out there, often taking positions that are against them. There's something about you that's allowing you to do that, right?
I
know you don't want to. I know you don't want to sit here and pat yourself on the back, but I think it's an important piece of something.
I think, and I'm not sure I'm right about this, but let me be a little bit more modest on this. But I think most of my peers in Silicon Valley think that the ideas are more set. We sort of know all the right answers, and it's inefficient. It's a waste of time to be exploring outside of that. And so the sort of the substantive question you have to ask is, are the ideas right? Or, should we have more exploration? So it's like, you take the climate change debate. Mm-hmm. There's a view that, we know it's happening.
Oh, here we go, Thiel.
We know that it's a runaway problem, and if we can't even pause and think about it because we know all these things. We have to just focus all our energy on solving them. And so if those things are true, then that might be reasonable. If they're not entirely true, like maybe climate change is, maybe it's more methane than carbon dioxide, in which case maybe eating steak is worse than driving a car. So maybe climate change is a problem. It's a little bit different from the way we think it is. And so if these things are not true, then we need to have much more of a debate. And so the kind of question that's very hard that you have to make some judgment on is, do we more or less have the truth about everything, or don't we?
Yeah.
And my view is that we're like really far off. And I think a lot of my peers think, we're kind of at the end of history. We've sort of figured everything out. We don't want to be long ideas. We don't want to be, interesting, weird ideas are just wrong, and they're just a waste of time. And that's sort of their bias. Mine's the opposite.
Yeah.